Open three is good.
Shot pours a goal. Oh, quick serve.
Nice.
Tough. Shooting is scored.
Hello and welcome to Sports Jam on CCX Media. I'm John Jacobson.
I'm Jay Wilcox. Today on Sports Jam, highlights from prep baseball, softball, lacrosse, and more. Plus, we'll talk with players from the fast-starting Osseo baseball team. And let's start with girls lacrosse and a rematch of a section final from a year ago. Maple Grove went to the state tournament after beating rival Osseo Park Center, and they met up Friday night. OPC hosting the Crimson, both teams unbeaten coming in. First half, Osseo Park Center's Rachel Manning with some good moves on her attack, but her shot is stopped by Maple Grove goalie Coco Francis. At the other end, Katie Wheeler passes to Taylor Helvey in front, who shoots and scores to put Maple Grove ahead 4-1. The Crocs of OPC answer. Kayla Shadle passes to Megan Payne, who scores, cutting the Crimson lead to 4-2. From the free position, Crimson sophomore Emily Herdine drills a shot home for a goal. Maple Grove is up 5-2. They lead 5-3 at halftime. Down 7-3 in the second half, OPC starts a comeback. Manning sets up Payne for the shot and goal, and it's 7-4. And it's Gabrielle Holton picking up a ground ball, and she'll turn and score to pull the Crocs back within a goal at 7-6. But Maple Grove gets the final 3 goals of the game, including 2 from Herdine, as the Crimson go on to win 10-6, and they are now 3-0. The Maple Grove boys lacrosse team is also 3-0. The Crimson edged Edina 9-8 in their last game after beating Irondale and Elk River earlier last week. Maple Grove is home to play Osseo Park Center on Friday night.
The Champlin Park boys lacrosse team qualified for the state tournament in both 2013 and 2014. Anoka made its first appearance at state last season. And those two District 11 rivals met last week in a Northwest Suburban Conference game. Anoka wastes no time in scoring. Ali Nye rips a shot into the back of the Rebels' net to get the Tornadoes out to a 1-0 lead 40 seconds into the game. Less than a minute later, first shot is stopped. Jack Savini picks up the ground ball. He shoots and scores. Anoka scores 3 goals in the game's first 90 seconds. Still in the first quarter, Luke Billahus passes to Chandler Forrester, who scores high on the short side. It's his second of 2 goals to make it 6-0 Anoka. Rebels do get on the board before the end of the first. Nick Feldstein sneaks a shot through, and it's 6-1 after 1. Second quarter, and Anoka continues its assault. Billahus winds and fires a long shot into the Rebels' net. Preston Olson gets the assist, and it's a 10-2 game. Joey Fold scores twice for Champlin Park in the second quarter, but the Rebels don't score again. Anoka rolls to a 19-3 win. Well, more lacrosse later in the show. Now to softball, where Hopkins and Maple Grove each returned a lot of players this spring. Hopkins was in the state tournament a year ago, while Maple Grove fell 1 game short. Beautiful afternoon in Maple Grove to watch the Crimson and the Royals. And Hopkins gets off to a fast start. Natalie Den Hartog reaches down, strokes a solid single to center field. Hannah Kleist comes around to score, and it's 1-0 Royals in the first. Later in the inning, Mackenzie Merritt hits a sharp ground ball to second. Crimson get the out at first, but Evelyn Barsick scores, and it's 2-0. Still in the first inning, Parker Stoddard grounding a single, finding its way through for a base hit, then Hartog scores 3-0 after 1. Second inning, the Crimson threatening with runners at second and third, but shortstop then Hartog fields the hard grounder cleanly, gets the out at first. That ends the inning. The 4-0 game through 2. And that's enough run support for pitcher Merritt. She gets Sydney Cashman to fly to left fielder Cassie Heuris to end the game. The Royals blank the Crimson 5-0, and Hopkins remains unbeaten on the season. The Champlin Park softball team has a lot of veterans, and they have some pretty good offense, too. They hosted Centennial in Northwest Suburban Conference play. Bottom of the first inning in this one, Champlin Park takes an early lead. Riley Hewsome grounding to short. Holly Blaska dashes home from third. Cougars make an error, and Hewsome is safe as well on the play. Second inning, Centennial answers. Julia Azure drives a single to center field. Amanda Mathis and Hannah Hudson both score. The Cougars take a 2-1 lead. And they're not done. Alyssa Montero with a ground ball to deep short. Elizabeth Groen scores. but Haley Tom, trying to score from second base, is thrown out at the plate. Still, Centennial gets 5 runs in the inning to lead 5-1. Home half of the 5th, Blaska rips a single into right field. Abby Resson slides home and scores. The Rebels still trail, though, 6-2. Still in the 5th, Brittany Davis drives the ball down the line and into the left field corner. Blaska scores. The Cougars get the ball back in, and they throw out the trail runner Houston at the plate, and it stays a 6-3 game. In the 6th inning, Centennial adds to its lead. Corin Jacobson, fly ball to deep center, that's not caught. The base is cleared on this one. The Cougars go ahead 9-3 through 6. Champlin Park gets another rally going in the 7th. Davis at the plate, and she delivers on this one, drilling it over the fence and left for a 2-run homer. Champlin Park scores 4 times in the 7th inning, but they come up short. Centennial wins it 9-7.
The Maple Grove boys tennis team is usually a top contender in the Northwest Suburban Conference. The Crimson look to continue their winning ways as they took on Spring Lake Park, visiting the Crimson in this one. At number 1 singles, Matt Arabo serves for the Panthers. Sam Hochberger with a forehand and then a nice overhead on his way to an easy 6-0, 6-0 win for Maple Grove. The second singles, in Maple Grove's Josh Miller comes to the net, and he'll put away an overhead. Miller also breezes to a win, 6-1, 6-1. At number 2 doubles, Maple Grove is in the far court receiving serve. Josh Hogue gets all of the action on this point, and it turns out to be match point for the Crimson as he and partner Lathan Boyk beat Logan Rochek and Nelson Losey. Eli Naughton serves for Maple Grove in the third doubles match, and his partner Andrew Dumbald has good hands at the net as they win this match. Maple Grove takes the match 7-0, and they added a key win over Elk River on Friday. Well, the weather cleared up nicely for Armstrong's girls and boys track teams to host an invitational that featured several local squads. Edina takes the girls' title with Chanhassen second. Osseo is the top local team in third with 89.5 points. Eden Prairie is fourth with Armstrong, Champlin Park, and Park Center in the 5, 6, and 7 spots. Edina also takes the boys' title with Eden Prairie as runner-up and Chanhassen in third. Champlin Park is fourth with Osseo, Armstrong, and Park Center placing 6, 7, and 8. Also in track and field, congratulations to the Wayzata girls. They won the 10-team Shakopee Relays. And John, the Hamlin Elite Meet coming up this week on Friday.
That's really become a great event. Some elite athletes there, and that should be a fun one Friday night down at Hamlin. Time to take a break here on Sports Jam. Next up, though, baseball. What's more lacrosse highlights? And we'll be right back. Welcome back to Sports Jam, and time to talk baseball.
That's right. Osseo's off to a solid start despite having a young team. The Orioles on their home field to face Buffalo last week. Osseo lefty John Bezdicek is in command early. He gets a strikeout here, and he is perfect through the first 4 innings. In the bottom of the third, Robbie Colflat smacks a hot grounder past the second baseman and into right center. Matt Bezdicek speeds around to score from second base, and the Orioles grab a 1-0 lead on Colflat's single. Bezdicek runs into trouble in the 5th inning, but gets out of it with help from his defense. Nick Lyons to Taylor Bader to Matt Bezdicek for a 5-2-3 double play that ends a bases-loaded threat for Buffalo. Colflat looks to start a rally in the bottom of the 5th, but a nice running grab by Bison center fielder Hunter Brings robs him of an extra base hit, and it stays 1-0 Osseo. And John Bezdicek finishes what he started, going the distance and striking out 7 with a 3-hitter as Osseo wins 1-0. We'll hear from the Orioles later in the show.
The Champlin Park girls lacrosse team lost just 1 game all last season to Blaine in the Section 7 tournament. Rebels return some of those same players, and they have high hopes for a good season. It was a rainy night last week. Champlin Park taking on Spring Lake Park. First half, Rebels Tara Dahlman to Sam Nolan, who goes low with her shot. She scores. Champlin Park takes a 2-1 lead 11 minutes in, and they stretch their lead from there. Josie Johnson over the goalie sticking in for a goal to make it 4-1. Before halftime, Allie Kelly, the nice pass to Johnson, cutting in front of the Panthers net. Johnson scores again. Champlin Park takes a 6-2 lead into halftime. Opening seconds of the second half. And senior midfielder Dahlman makes a nice run up the left side. She'll take this one herself to the net. Here, Dahlman had 34 goals in the regular season a year ago. This one makes it 7-2 Rebels. She'll pick up an assist later in the half, finding that cutter Lydia Brecht for the quick shot and goal. Brecht's goal makes it 9-2 Rebels. They go on to win 11-3, and they edged Anoka 11-10 on Friday night.
Adapted softball seasons are getting underway. The Robins from Robbinsdale, Hopkins, Mound Westonka shuffled their early schedule because Hopkins had a late spring break. Osseo, representing all of District 279, facing the Robins in a PI division game. Osseo gets on the board in the first as Kirby Gilbertson's blooper falls in the infield. Navarro Tollefson scores. The Orioles get 2 in the first. The Robins answer. Andy Hansen's liner up the middle finds some open space. Corey Tesh and Vincent Liu score, and Hansen circles the bases as well as the Robins get the maximum 5 runs. Gilbertson slashes a hit in the second to the gap for Osseo. Abby Witters scores. And Gilbertson races around the bases for a home run. The Orioles get 2 more, and they pull back within 5-4. It's mostly Robins from there, though. Tesh singles to left, and it'll bring Madeline Osk home for a run. And then Lou delivers a key hit, scoring Haley Engebretson and Jordan O'Donnell as the Robins win their season opener 15-8 over the Orioles. And the Robins are hosting their Lloyd Olson Invitational Tournament this weekend.
Lloyd, a pioneer in the world of adapted athletics, so it should be a great event. Straight ahead here on Sports Jam, we will hear from the Osseo baseball team about their strong start to the season. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Sports Jam. It's been a nice start to the season for the Osseo baseball team as they enter the week with a 5-1 mark, and we're joined by a couple of their players and also head coach John Groebner. And starting with Adam Lanners, how much fun has it been to get off to this kind of a start that you guys have had so far?
It's been great. Everyone's came together as a team. We're getting good pitching out of the Bezdicek brothers, and everyone's getting hits out there to produce runs, which is great.
Is this something you guys expected to see when the season started?
We were a little optimistic because we got some young guys on the team, but the Bezdiceks are good leaders, and everyone learns from them, so it's good.
Guys had a tough one with Andover, but obviously it's going to be tough to go undefeated through a season. Is that a game you can kind of learn from a little bit too?
Yes, we can learn from that. It's early in the season still, and mistakes happen, and people learn from it, and hopefully we'll learn them down the road and make better things happen.
We're obviously still fairly early in the season, but has this start kind of made you guys dream a little higher possibly too?
Yes, the 5-1 start of the season's been great, but we're still optimistic about the season. We still got a lot of tough opponents, and just go out there and play baseball.
All right, thanks for joining us. Have fun the rest of the way. And John Bezdicek been very strong on the hill. How much fun has it been to go out there and put some innings together, put some good innings together along with your brother?
It's been a blast actually, but having the defense behind us, making only a couple of errors this year so far, is something I think I can trust in the future, and I will. And I'm just excited to see what we can do later in the season.
Obviously, coming into a season in the spring, it's a quick thing. You have to be ready in a hurry, it feels like, maybe compared to the winter sports. But do you feel good about the way the guys prepared and got ready for this start of the season like this?
Yeah, I think most games we might came in a little slow, but we sped up tempo. And towards the end of the game, we were getting loud and cheering each other on. And I think that's what really helped us win a few of our games.
If the weather cooperates, a pretty busy week and this week ahead for you, but you look forward to that challenge against a variety of opponents here?
Yeah, I think we all are looking for a little revenge, even though we don't play Andover again. We'll just get back out on the field and hopefully make the most of it.
John, thanks for joining us, and good luck the rest of the season here.
Thank you.
And Coach Groebner, you're, I think, optimistic coming into this year, but have they surprised you at all with the start they've had?
Yeah, they're a big surprise here. We came in very optimistic. We had a lot of holes to fill. Only having 3 experienced varsity returners from last year, so we didn't really know what to expect right out the gate. We expected a few bumps in the road, but these guys have worked really hard to work through those. And obviously, getting that great pitching from those Bezdiceks has really helped us out. But also, Cade Wiles has thrown a couple good games for us too. So,
I think a lot of teams in your conference are all capable of beating each other. Do you remind the guys that okay, it's been a good start, but there's plenty of teams out there that are just as good as us, and we have to play well?
Yeah, this is Northwest Suburban Conference is a great conference. You never get a night off. Everybody's out there challenging every day, and when you come out the gates 5-0, you're going to get everybody's best game. They're coming, they see the target. You got the target on your back now, so we try to keep preaching it to them, but they're young too, so sometimes they think they got it figured out.
As we said, if the weather cooperates in this week ahead, 4 games, is that a good thing or a bad thing for this team right now?
That's an interesting question. We're really going to find out what we're about. If we're for real or if we're for pretend. How deep are we really on the mound? So I think we got a good plan going into the week. And if the weather holds, we'll see what we're made of.
John, thanks so much for joining us. Congrats on the good start and have fun the rest of the way.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for coming.
John Groebner, the head baseball coach at Osseo High School. Again, their team 5-1 entering this week, and they've got 3 home games and an away game scheduled for the week. We'll be back to wrap up Sports Jam, but first it's a look at our plays of the week.
Cherian to Kozakowski, a shot in the hole. Eloise Cherian, a nice setup, and Lauren Kozakowski.
And that's it for this week's show. Thanks for watching Sports Jam.
We're nearing the end of April, and hopefully the weather cooperates here for all the local teams. See you next time on Sports Jam.
What makes your community feel like home? Is it knowing what's happening in your neighborhood? Or when people know your name? Connections make us a community. For more than 30 years, Northwest Community Television has connected citizens, neighbors, even sports fans through video. You can learn about the latest news through our truly local newscast. We cover and air around 150 high school sporting events every year. For our cities, we air parades and city meetings that you can watch whenever you want. Then, any citizen of our cities can create and share their own original content. We'll even teach you how to use the equipment too. We have always provided you with a connected community experience, and as life gets busier than ever, we will continue to engage, inform, and inspire through CCX Media, so you can stay connected to the place you call home.